Do you want to know how parenting today is different and harder? Because it is both of those things. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting and good communication and how to build strong family bonds all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about why parenting is so hard nowadays. In this video, we're going to be talking about how parenting has changed over the years, why parenting seems like it's so much harder nowadays, and then what you can do about it. So let's start with what parenting has been like historically. You might think that parenting is so new all the time and it's so incredibly new, but actually I want to tell you something. Parenting goes in cycles, or if you want to think more of like a pendulum, it swings. In fact, I wrote a book all about the changes in parenting. It's called Popular Parenting Methods, and it talks about the changes in the patterns of parenting and what we can know about that so that we can make good choices for ourselves and for our children. So historically, parenting has been based upon principles, usually religious principles. What people believe then translates to what they teach in their home and what they think their boundaries are when it comes to parenting. So there's been a little bit of confusion and misinterpretation on a few things, such as spanking. Okay, that's one thing that has led people to some issues, and there has been a little bit of a toss-up on whether that should be okay or not. So then we see this swing, like, oh, that's too aggressive. No, let's be more gentle. No, let's be more militant and aggressive. No, let's be their friend, right? Back, forth, and what people hope to find somewhere as they shift back and forth, because many parents actually shift back and forth themselves. They'll say, I want to be the friend, I want to be really gentle. Okay, they are losing control, so now I'm going to swing clear over here. That's what happens. And then they go over here and then they go, they feel bad. So historically, parents have always kind of gone back and forth, and that's because that most people have been principled. So I would say historically people have these beliefs or principles and morals that they've held onto. And as a society, we've held all those things in common with each other. And so actually, their principled nature means they shouldn't be on this little pendulum swing at all. They should be at a completely different place. When a person is principled, and their practice matches their principle, then they don't actually need to swing back and forth. Anything on that pendulum swing is actually manipulation. So a principled person has their principle practice matching, and then they have confidence and security in their parenting. So many parents would find that balance historically. And these parents would set good examples for other parents, new parents coming. And there were skills that were oftentimes passed along. And this is because people had the same type of life. Many people were agrarian, right? So they would grow things. They had farms and animals. They would learn the same lessons from the farms and the animals. And this made it so that a lot of the teaching that happened from one generation to the next generation was very similar. You can't get away from the principles that present themselves in society when everyone is doing the same practices, like growing their own food. But nowadays, we're not growing our own food. Things have changed. We've got to talk about those changes. But before we do you see that subscribe button? Click subscribe now. Then you'll be able to see more videos that are going to help you in this day and age that we're parenting in. Subscribe now. So what has changed? Well, one big thing is not everybody has farms anymore. I know some people do. I'm kind of one of those backyard farmers, right? Where I have like a little homestead, like a little mini one on my half acre, and I grow fruits on fruit trees and grapes on vines and vegetables and nuts and berries and things, right? So I grow as many things as I can, and I brought my children out there and tried to teach them how to work the little bit of land that we had, how to grow things, and all of the rules and principles that are required to understand for growing. But most people don't want to do that. They don't have the space to do that, and they just don't even think of doing that. So that pulls them away now from some of their principal foundation. So our society was built, our modern society was built on two hands, on people doing things with their two hands, learning how to solve their own problems by themselves. And nowadays we have all kinds of tools to solve problems for us. They make life convenient, right? We have machines that wash our dishes. We have machines that clean our clothes and press our clothes. We have clothes that don't even need to be pressed anymore. You just throw it on, you just wear it, it's casual. We have people that make our food. We just have to pick it up. We even have people who will pick up the food that somebody else makes for us, so we don't even have to leave our houses. We don't even have to read a book lots of times anymore. We can just get an audio book, take a course, or watch YouTube videos, right? This is what we do in our society because we create a more convenient society. We're constantly solving those problems so that we don't have to learn how to solve problems. This is a problem. We have lost that foundation. We've also lost a lot of religious foundation in society. Many people are going away from historical religious practices. They're not reading religious texts like they used to anymore, which held the society together in the same principled way. So instead, we have people thinking that they should just make up their own right, wrong, good, bad, true, and false, which essentially is like each person playing their own God. Now, some people are totally fine with that. I'm not, because I'm more of a historical person. But what we have is we have a situation in place where people think that anything goes so long as they want it. This puts a lot of people on edge. How can we trust our children in a society where the values and morals are not still holding the fabric of society together? That's very difficult. And our parenting practices are not the same as our neighbors anymore. So now we have to go it alone, or we just back out altogether and abandon the children. This is oftentimes what is happening in our culture. This is difficult. This is different. So it used to be all societies would have central values or morals or principles that would hold them together. Even in the United States of America, we've had constitutional values that have held us together to protect certain principles, like principles of freedom. But guess what? Those now are even under attack. Some people do not like the constitutional values and are even preaching things against it in our society. So now we have this isolation. Every family feels completely isolated. And if we don't have the same morals and principles that our parents did, then when we're doing our parenting, we can't get help from them. That makes us more isolated too. That's hard. So then we go to who? Some person we've never met on YouTube, like Nicholeen Peck, to ask, what should we do in our parenting? I mean, I'm not saying that I can tell you what to do in your role as parent. That's a sacred duty you have. It's a very precious task. Nobody can take that away from you. But that's why it feels so heavy, right? Because nobody actually can take it away from you. So that means parents have to have discernment more than ever before. But that's a skill that most people don't even understand. What does it mean to discern? How do they know if something's right, wrong, good, bad, true, false? How do we know? We only follow crowds anymore in our society. Well, as a parent who took in troubled teens and parented 4 of my own, I was very focused on discerning what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is true, what is false, and how am I going to give it to my children when the other people in society might not? Or even if I give it, other people may not hold up those things as well. What can I do? So I created a system of teaching my children that was dependent upon the unity of the parent-child bond, which meant that I needed to spend time working on that parent-child bond. That meant that correcting the problems and the behaviors that were causing issues could not be something that would pull us apart. It had to bring us together. So I created a type of parenting for my foster children, just so that I could make it through and help them have a change of heart, called teaching self-government. And I raised my children with these principles and skills for their entire growing up. And now, suddenly I'm an empty nester. Well, I'm a grandma, and that's fun. And now I'm seeing my children. This can make me cry. I'm seeing my children pass along those same skills and principles that they learned in my home to their children. They've recognized that they're true. They've taught them to their spouses, and they are saying, this is how I am planning on raising my children, because it's gentle, it's kind, it's connective, it's firm, it teaches, it directs, instructs, and empowers. I'm doing all of these things, and I'm going to do it being calm. That is when you know that you've given something to your children, when they want to duplicate what you did for them. My daughter even, Paige, if you ever go to my Teaching Self-Government website, teachingselfgovernment.com, you'll notice that in the course and in some of the mentor things, she's a mentor. She's been a mentor to train people on this stuff since she was 18 years old. She got a degree in marriage and family science so that she could help me. She mentors families in my TSG parenting course. That's how much she loves it. That's how much she honors what her parents did, even though we were not perfect. She knows the principles that we followed were true. So what are some of those key principles that I teach in my TSG parenting course? I teach children 4 basic skills: how to follow instructions, accept no answers and criticism, accept consequences, disagree appropriately. I teach parents 5 styles, 5 skills for teaching their children so that they can do it with calmness. I also teach them the skill for how to be calm when someone else isn't, and how to help them get calm without losing their calmness at the same time. I teach them how to communicate openly with their children, how to repair relationships, how to be consistent, firm, have justice, but also mercy, compassion, love, support, connection, and calmness. These are things that you can learn, but they're not perpetuated in our society right now. Quite frankly, the teaching is not happening. People get close to it, but then they quickly turn and swerve toward manipulation, like, be gentle, but don't be a parent. That's not gentle parenting. That's abandonment, okay? Be positive, but don't actually tell them what to do. Don't actually tell them that they've earned a consequence for their behavior. That's not honest. There are consequences for all of our behaviors. And they say, yes, just teach the natural. But is that really compassionate? If the natural would be that you don't trust them, how can you project that on your child? There are things that people say are logical, which are just manipulative. We need help, and I have the help for us. My website, teachingselfgovernment.com, has a course, and it is called the TSG Parenting Course. If you go to teachingselfgovernment.com, you can find the TSG Parenting Course and a lot of other supplies and things that I offer to help. Go there. Get the help you need so that you can do better with your parenting in this time where it's so different. It's so hard. It's not based on historical practices anymore. Actually, what I teach is historical in nature because it's principled, and principles don't ever change. And they will serve you and your children as your relationships repair and become strong. You will be a different type of family in this world that is struggling with those little parenting moments. Go to teachingselfgovernment.com. I'll see you there.